What's up, everybody? Welcome back to All Things Nerdy with Nate and Joe. I'm Nate. That's Joe. Can't see it, but that's Joe. Today, we do not have a very special guest for you. We have a very average, normal person who's going to be talking about some of the nonsense that they get into on a daily basis. So, without further ado, Joe.
So one, it is still a very special person. They're just not a guest. It's the co-host Nathan over there, and well, he is special, okay. But without further ado, Nate, talk nerdy to us. Tell us about what you've been getting into recently.
So, as of late, my wife and I have decided, you know what, why not just like uproot our whole life, throw everything to the wind, go over to Europe, hang out. We originally decided we were going to move from New Orleans to Barcelona. We went through, got the visa, got approved, did all that stuff. We ended up going over. We ended up selling our house, moving. We did a road trip through the states. We went from Louisiana, Mississippi to Alabama, up through like Tennessee, all the way up to Indiana, then through Pittsburgh, then Jersey, from Jersey to New York and Long Island, and then we flew from Long Island over to Barcelona. We had found an apartment, decided, like, hey, this is good. It was great, right? Let me tell y'all. Let me tell you a little bit of something about the way renting works in Spain. Absolutely blows my mind. There's actually a law passed recently about it to try to help some Spaniards. So first off, like 80% of Spaniards own their house or live with their parents, something like that. They don't do a lot of renting. But the ones that do, it's outlandishly expensive. So the owners, the landlords, hire agencies. Agencies are the ones that rent out their apartments. With those agency comes agency fees, right? That's fine. It happens. Who should pay those agency fees? Should be the landlord, the owner. In the States, if you rent, you pay first, you pay last, right? You know, a little here, a little there. It is what it is. Maybe a little security deposit, not much. Well, in Spain, you have to pay the agency fee, right? What is the agency fee? You ask, you're like, I probably can't pay that much. Well, it is 10% of your annual rent plus 21% VAT, right? And you're like, oh, that's great. Like, that's not really that much. It's a few thousand. That's not your deposit. That's to be considered for the apartment, right? So we did that. And then we're like, you know what? A couple thousand for rent. That's all you need. That's fine, right? For a deposit, first month. They come back and they're like, you know what, Nate? It's going to cost you 12,000 for deposits on top of the agency fee you just paid. So it comes out to like $15,000, right? In order to get the key to the said apartment. So my wife and I decided, nah, F that. We're going to just be homeless. So we are homeless in Europe, traveling around Europe. We just spent the last week in Barcelona. We're actually going to go through. So right now, our current trajectory, right now, we're in, I can't pronounce it, Marseille, something France, the south coast of France. It's a cool little city. It's the most diverse city in Europe, just so everybody knows. And we go from here to Lyon, Lyon to Paris, Paris to Brussels, Brussels to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Berlin, Berlin to Prague, Prague to Vienna. And then I think we're going to do Vienna to Italy or or Vienna to Greece and then Greece to Italy or vice versa, Vienna to Italy, Italy to Greece. So that is what we're
When
looking
you're
at. So basically,
when
huh?
you're looking at those, like how long are you staying in each place? Like, is this going to be like all in August, or is that like kind of like a couple months span? Like,
That's a couple months. At the
okay,
rate we're going now, because we are very active adventurers. So over the past like 10 days, essentially, I've averaged like 18,000 steps. I mean, you can ask me right now, Joe. Ask me how many steps do I have?
how many steps do you currently have? And it's only,
So
well, I guess it's
it's
like 8 o'clock your time.
it's 8:30 here, right? And my wife and I, after this short podcast, we'll probably go back out. There's a market right down the road. As of right now, I have 21,996 steps.
So that's a roughly 10 miles. So you're walking roughly 10 miles a day.
Yeah, it's a lot. But we're very active travelers, right? You wouldn't believe it. I'm a heavy set man. I'm a large dude. I sweat a lot. It's a whole thing. Anyways, so we're out and about. So we don't have to spend long in a city specifically in order to see it all and go, because we will go to one thing and then like immediately leave that thing and go to another. It's not like let's do this and then go back to the apartment or hotel. We're also couch surfing and stuff like that. We don't have to like do those things. We stay out all day. This is my first time back at the apartment, other than a small little caveat that I will grow into. If Joe asked me, I got a fun little story, facts for y'all.
Well,
Um,
before that, Jeremy says, "You look great." I agree. Got the tan going on, way more tan. Walking
Jay
10 miles
Boogie,
a day.
I've lost some weight. So oddly enough, I've fixed my eating on vacation. I started July 4th, really watching what I eat and the portions that I eat. My wife and I have decided we only share entrees when we go out now. So A, it makes it cheaper, but B, it really limits our intake. So like no longer do I order an entree and she orders an entree. We order one and then we split it. So I've lost weight. I'm getting a ton of sun, as you can see. This beautiful, skin getting beat up by the sun right now. But thank you, Jay Boogie Cox. You're my boy. I appreciate the kind words. Um,
To
but
Nicholas,
anyways,
I am interested to hear you tell your story of the shenanigans that you've gotten into today.
oh my gosh. Okay, so look, my wife and I, we decided we're gonna go to dinner. We started looking everywhere, like where do we want to go? What's the best? And again, Marseille is like one of the most diverse cities in Europe. I've never had Tunisian food. I think it's Tunisian. My wife's corrected me like 20 times. I don't know. Anyways, I was like, I've never had it. I would like to try it. We're very adventurous eaters. Anytime we travel anywhere, we like to try their style of food and all of those things, which also have a story about tapas that I'll go into in a minute. But anyways, so we go to this really nice place. The owner is there. He's the waiter. He waits on everybody. Really cool dude. So we order all this food. It's delicious, by the way. Absolutely delicious. It was couscous, some like stew that you put on the couscous, and then like some really like hot paste that goes in it to like heat it up to make it spicy. And then it had lamb and some kind of sausage that is like made from like Tunisian, like some stuff that they do, and then something else that it was okay, but the rest of it was absolutely amazing. So we go to pay. We're like, let's pay. So we walk up the counter, like, it was delicious. Steph told me how to say it was delicious in French. I don't remember. So I was like, yeah, it's delicious. He laughed. He's like, all right, 28.60. We pull out our card. What card? No card. What happened? No card. I've already ate your food, bro. This is all I got. He's like, no card. So he's like, ATM, and he's like pointing around the corner. So I'm like, cool. So me and Steph, we walk out. Hey, way too trusting, right? Like, nowhere in America, they're gonna be like, look, give me your card. What if you have to stay? I need first naming rights of your child, something. This dude's like pushing Steph out the door to go with me because he probably sees Steph's like, she's your protector. You should not be out in the wild by yourself. Right. So, anyways, we go outside. We're going to an ATM. The ATM doesn't work. Oh my God. So we go back in and we're like, hey, ATM doesn't work. Steph's gonna stay here. I'm gonna run back to the hotel. Right. And this thing, it's not like super far from the hotel, but it's not like super close to the hotel. Right. So I'm over there. I'm walking. I get to the hotel. We don't know where our Euro cash money is. So I find a 20 euro and then I find our little change purse. So and Steph sends me a little message when I'm on my way back. She's like, hey, there's a credit mutual right here. Check there for an ATM. I'm like, all right, cool, bet. So I slide by. It's like bashed. Like you can't use it. The screen is absolutely destroyed. I don't know who they pissed off, but they were very angry. So we go into this restaurant. I sit down at the table. I put a 20 down. I pull out the little coin, the little change purse. I'm like, well, that's 1 euro. That's 3 euros. And then we get into like the 50 cents. I'm like, well, two 50s, that's 4 euros right there. Another 50s, that's 5 euros. And then we get to the 20-cent euros. I'm like, that's two, that's four, that's six, that's eight. I'm like, ooh, we get close. That's like 26 euros, right? And then we get to the 10-cent euros. And I think he sees me going like 1, 2, 3. And he's like, no, no, no. So man, by the skin of our teeth, this dude was nice. He only charged us like 26 euros and 28.60. I know it's not a lot, but still I felt bad. We ended up like going down the street somewhere to another ATM and trying to find money because I want to pay my debt. So does Steph. And the food was amazing. I got to go leave him a review and talk about how nice he was and the fact that, he let me short him. But oh God, what an experience. We don't like really carry cash on us. Pickpocketing is a big thing over here. Our cards work. This is the only time they haven't taken our card. I'm like, I already ate the food. I can't give it back. Like
You didn't have it posted anywhere, like on the door,
no,
anywhere like
nothing.
that.
No, not on the menu. Like walk up, bro, come to the table. Hey, no cat, like no card today, only cash, like euros, coins, whatever you got. That's all I can take. We would have been like, cool, we'll go somewhere else. Like, that's fine. No, he let us order. I guess he just thought we'd know. I don't know why we would know, but he just thought we'd know.
You thought everybody carries cash, right? Or euros.
Oh, man, I done thought we'd been had. I said, oh, this is it. You
You're
know,
about to be doing
I,
dishes in the back.
my phone is dying, right? Steph's in this freaking restaurant. In here, they don't speak English, right? It's not like where you go to a lot of cities and like some of them understand English, some of them don't. Like it's a little hit or miss. They don't really speak English here. I don't speak French, so I'm just out walking around the city hoping to God I don't get lost trying to find my freaking hotel, right? And then I do find the hotel, and then I had to find my way back. Is just a crazy adventure. It was a lot.
Jeremy says, lesson learned, keep sock cash.
Oh,
You might
bet
need to
before I
keep
came
a little bit in the
before I
sock.
came back to the hotel, we went and found an ATM because I paid my debts, right?
All right,
Uh,
Lannister over here. But Kevin said, LOL, was about to say do dishes or bus tables. Yeah,
I,
they's
I
about
was
to get a
about to
job.
offer. Yeah, I was about to offer, like, bro, I'll come back there and cook for you all night. Like I could throw some couscous, down. Like it's fine.
Yeah,
Uh, but hey, I don't even know how to say that in French, so he's just gonna be like I'm an idiot. But we went and found an ATM further down the road. Like we had to walk to go get it, and I pulled out money, and I went back and tried to give him some, and he wouldn't take it. So we ended up giving it to a in need person just to pay it forward. So
oh, that's super awesome. Love the pay
yeah.
it forward. But so that's a super interesting. Well, I do have a question before kind of move on to another topic. But so was all of that worth the food? Like, was the
Oh,
food good enough?
100%. Yes,
Okay.
I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I mean, I wouldn't do that exact thing again. I would take cash with me, but like if somebody's like, Nate, you have to relive this scenario for the food, I'd do it 100% of the time. It was amazing. It
Okay,
was delicious. Tunisian food is fantastic.
that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yep.
So my my question before this is so you've been to Spain and now you're in France, right? Those are the two countries that
Yes.
you've been to. So far in your journey, what has been other than today? What has been like the most memorable thing or like your favorite thing that you've kind of happened across? It's only been like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's only been like 10 or 11 days, something like that. And we spent the majority of it in Barcelona. So there's several things, but there's one thing specifically that stands out to me. I got to go to an FC Barcelona game. Freaking amazing. So cool. It's not my favorite, but like I just got to state it. So freaking awesome. They love their football. It's a whole different experience. If you ever get a chance to do it, do it.
It means
Secondly,
soccer.
yeah, in Barcelona, they have the Sagrada de Familia. It is one of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. It's so intricate, the design and all that. They're both great. However, my favorite thing that I've done to date, and if you're like a friend of mine or follow me on Instagram or, we talk on WhatsApp or whatever, you saw pictures of it. But Steph and I, we went to Montserrat. At Montserrat, there's some mountains and there's a monastery at the top of it, right? So you can either take a cable car, take the train, or drive a car up there, or there's a hike. And there's two hikes, right? There's one that is kind of casual, a little gradual, but I mean, it's still a massive amount of elevation. It's just slower elevation, right? Or you can take the route that we accidentally took thinking we were taking the other route. And we ended up hiking up. I'm talking stairs that are like this, right? Like I'm not talking like this. I'm talking like this. Like I'm having to like push my legs down, like hop up on these things and all that. But anyways, we got to hike outside at our own pace, stand on the edge of mountains, the wind whipping. Like if I fell, I was gonna die, right? Like just the views I got to see, how serene, how like unreal it was. It's probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. Just kind of being up there, seeing all the like surrounding mountains and the towns tucked away and things like that. And for the most part, it was a several hour hike, and we only saw a few people. And most of those people were coming down, so they probably took the train up and just hiked down. Cheaters. Um, But so there that is. And I have posted pictures on my Instagram. So if you want to go check out pictures, go to my Instagram at Nate the World Walker, and check it out.
I'm gonna throw it in the chat too. But yeah, I've seen some of the pictures that you've been posting and the videos that you've made, and they just look amazing. Especially that view from when you're standing at the top. And of course, I had a little bit of a nerd moment. The Shadow Clone Jutsu with the three
Yeah.
people with the view in the background. I was like, oh, so proud. I was like, this is the moment right here.
Dude, yeah. So I'm currently watching Naruto, right? I actually went and bought a VPN in order to finish Naruto. It is really good. I've really enjoyed it. The fights have been excellent. The character building is really good. There are some weird things, don't get me wrong, very odd moments within Naruto. But overall, is really good. And I talked to Joseph and Keaton, who's a former guest on here of ours. I talked to them a lot, and we talk about anime a lot. So it felt very fitting being up there. And they go through a lot of training and they do all these crazy things. So it felt like the right thing to do at the right time. And it was awesome. And Steph, my wife, she's really cool about it. She's like, yeah, dude, let me get you, like, you got to do the 3 thing. And I was like, okay.
And it's kind of cool though, because as you're traveling, like you said, like in like when you're on the trains or when you're in the air, like you're watching Naruto. So it's like you're experiencing Naruto and you're kind of tying your Naruto experience in with this like traveling in Spain and traveling in Europe. So it's like almost like emotionally they're becoming intertwined. Like, have you noticed that at all? Like, does your kind of what you're watching affect what you're doing or anything like that, or vice versa?
So I think the biggest thing is like the outlook of Naruto on there. So I'm a big dude, and there are times when like I was tired, right? Like my wife, she's willing to stop whenever I wanted to stop on this hike and stuff like that. But it's really more, and it's gonna sound so cliche and dumb, but like the things we watch do have a big impact on us. Even if you're watching like trash TV and things like that, there are moments where like, oh, I can see how that relates, stuff like that. And on Naruto, they go through a lot of trials and tribulations where they're growing and like they're working on and just like training and training and training. And like Naruto himself, like, you can say he has this jutsu or that jutsu. I'm a big believer in the dude just good to get his ass whooped. He never gives up. He never stops. And I just kind of thought of that. I was like, I'm not going to stop. I got all the time in the world. I don't have to be in a hurry. It doesn't matter how exhausted my legs are. It doesn't matter how much, how hard I'm breathing. I'm just going to, pause and get right back to it. And so stuff like that. And then like, of course, getting to like message y'all and say things and stuff and like send the shadow clone jutsu at the top. Like I thought all that was really cool. So it kind of kept me going knowing that I was going to get to send that to y'all.
And then Keaton, just like in the perfect moment, comment, believe it.
Believe it. Yeah.
Believe it. That does remind me, like, remember when, I can't remember the exact, because you do travel a lot, but you and Steph were watching Demon Slayer and you were like having some trouble and she tells you like to use the breathing technique, right?
So we were in Kentucky and we were doing Mammoth Cave, and Mammoth Cave, like the walk down is it's not too bad. It's a little steep again. I'm a heavy guy, it don't take a lot to get me huffing and puffing. But when we're doing, I'm like, bro, my legs are feeling it, and she's like, it's all right, Nate, just keep going. What she say? Oh gosh, water, like just use your like breathing form. She's like, water breathing first form or whatever. And I was like, bro, I'm so lucky.
Oh, but it's pretty cool though. I find myself like just like in a workout or like some of this, like when I'm running, if I get it hard, like I'll be like Himikami Kagura or like recovery breathe, and I'm like, this is not working, but it's just making me feel better. Like it just makes me feel better, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Also, well, so I've started the anime adventure, probably 6-7 months ago at this point. So my first Barcelona purchase in Barcelona, the very first thing I buy, Steph's like, what are you going to get? I usually buy souvenirs everywhere I go, but my packing space is very limited. So what did my dumbass want to buy? The Million, baby. But it's a box that I don't really have a lot of room for. But I mean, look, Spanish, Lemillion, he's freaking awesome. MHA, like this was the perfect buy for me. I had to. Also, he looks bad. I had to get it. I could not get it.
Good. It's perfect. Well, we have a comment from Keaton. Is what place are you most looking forward to and why?
Italy, and I'm gonna tell you why. So on Airbnb, there's some experiences you can buy. And there's a specific Airbnb experience that is called cooking pasta with grandma. I will spend all of the money I have to go cook pasta with a nona. I just want her. We're gonna drink wine. We're gonna make some pasta. I want her to pinch my little cheekies, be like, "This is the best pasta I ever had." From a foreigner, from an American, not that she ever had, because the best pasta she ever had is probably what her mom made her. But she'll be like, "This is the best pasta an American who's not a chef has ever made." That's what I hope she says, and she'll probably say it because I paid for the service. But I'm still excited about it. So Italy, and to make pasta with a grandma who's not my grandma, although I love my granny. She's got a very special place in my heart. Very excited to meet this grandma.
That is amazing. One, I didn't know you could like do Airbnb experiences. Is that like a thing that's in America too, or is this like specific to Europe and stuff?
Steph sent it to me. I don't know, bro.
Well, I mean, authentic Italian pasta with an authentic Italian grandma. Like, that is amazing.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
she asked me, she's like, "Nate, what do you want to do?" And I told her, I was like, I want to just walk through Italy until I find a grandma that I talk to, hit it off with, and then I want her to invite me back to cook and eat food. Right? That's what I want. And then Steph's like, "Well, you don't have to do all that. Look at what I found." And I was like, "I'm fucking in. Take all my money. I don't even care."
like that. I bet this person is making millions. Oh, Steph. Let's see, Stephanie coming in, grandma getting pimped down. In a good way, though. In a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm excited to gain a grandma because I will. She will love me and I will love her. We will forever talk.
Stephanie says Airbnb experiences happen in America as well. Okay, interesting. I don't know if they'd be as cool as that. I don't know what could top like authentic grandma Italian cuisine. I don't know what could top that.
And in Italy, dude, it's so
In
cool. I
Italy,
can't wait.
that's
So
what
Keaton,
in
that
Italy.
is the place and the experience I am most looking forward to.
How like yeah, I could see like I don't know what's gonna top that. What view or anything like that is gonna make that better. We got a comment from Joshua West. You'll have to let Grandma know she was already on your podcast.
Oh, I will. I will ask her to come on the podcast. She probably don't speak a lick of English. I think her granddaughter set it up for her. So the way it reads on Airbnb, her granddaughter set it up for her and like runs it, and then you just like go in and cook with Nona, and then like she speaks the Italian, all that. So she probably won't understand a damn word I say, but she will know the love I have for her. And then I'll ask her if she wants to come on the podcast, and I'll just hire a translator. I don't care. Like I already love this woman, and she doesn't know me.
I saw where recently where there were some like Google AirPods or something like that, like or not AirPods but Google Pods that will real time translate over 150 languages or something like that. So it might be worth looking into so you can understand Nona before you get there.
So, fun fact: I spent the last year, trying to pick up some more Spanish. I did several years in college, a couple years in high school. I still don't know anything, so I was like, "Here, Duolingo," because we were going to move to Barcelona and live there and do all that. So we were in Barcelona, and it was useful. I can understand nothing essentially. But then we come to France, and I'm like, okay, I definitely don't know anything. But I was like, well, maybe I can learn some German before we get here and there. And I was like, what are the chances I learn any German within 2 weeks?
9.
So I decided, yeah, 9. I decided that you know what, I'm just jumping straight to Japanese. So I'm now learning Japanese on Duolingo.
When are you going to Japan?
So Steph and I have already decided when we get back to the States, our next trip will be Japan.
So that's a true world walker right there. Like
Yeah.
you're currently in the middle of traveling and you're like, let's plan our next travel. So but,
Yep.
we got Keaton comes in with a comment. Will your granny be proud or ashamed of this betrayal? She always has my shoulder to cry on.
First off, my granny would appreciate the fact that I love another grandma. My granny is the sweetest, kindest person you will ever talk to in your life. Unless you're an asshole, then she is not sweet or kind, and you will know that you're an asshole. But the fact that I am so excited to go cook and hang out with another grandma, my granny is going to be like elated. She's going to be so excited, over the moon, and she's going to be stoked that I get to have this experience. So where she has your shoulder to cry on 100% of the time, she won't need it over this, Keaton.
Oh, she'll need it. Like if you say her cooking, that the Nona's cooking is better than hers, then
Well,
she
that's two
might
different
question.
things. Country Alabama versus like authentic Italian. You know what? That's something we should set up. I'd gladly be the judge for that. I would love to see my granny cook against, my new Nona that doesn't know me yet,
Cooking
right?
showdown.
Yeah,
We'll stream it live for everyone to watch.
yeah. And
That'll be good.
I'll eat it all.
You know, man. But so I know before you guys decided to travel to Europe and kind of be nomads and you're like go to all the different countries over in Europe, you traveled a lot before this, and I mean that's why you had already had Nate the World Walk, your Instagram set up. So tell us a little bit about the places that you've already been to, like before your Europe trip, and do you have like pictures of all of this on the Instagram already?
Yes. So I've been to Honduras. Shout out to Joshua West. Woo, woo. So we went and saw him and his wife Jessica in Honduras. We spent 10 days there. It was an absolute blast. Honduras is wild. We stayed one night in the middle of the jungle. I was attacked by the bathroom because of the shower. It's weird. And then like it was freezing cold. And they were like, oh, just turn this knob. I turned the knob. All that freezing cold water came shooting out. And I'm talking, when I'm saying, I'm talking like ice cold. My nipples were cold. It was a whole weird thing. I'm in like my boxers, like freezing, like yelling at Steph to try to, and I'm trying to like stick this thing back in the hole, right? And it's just not going. This is going down a weird path. But
Yeah,
anyways, like it's like because the water's like shooting out of it. So like I'm trying to like close it, and it was a whole weird thing. And it's just like freezing water. I'm talking everywhere. It like in the like on the wall, like it was crazy. But we did that. Then we did Utila. We did Roatan. We drove basically from one side of the country to the other. And then from Utila, I don't know how we get into these things. From Utila to Roatan, right? So usually there's a ferry that gets you from one to the other. We already had a hotel and all that. The ferry was closed for the one specific day we needed for maintenance. They close 2 times a year. Two, Joseph, two. One of the 2 times was on the one day we needed it. So we're like, you know what? F it. We can find out an answer to this. You give me a little time, I'm going to solve it. So we charter a private boat to take us across the ocean, right? Bro, so this dude worked on the oil rig. He like lived in Louisiana for a little bit, so he was cool. Couldn't understand most of the words coming out of his mouth. They have very strong like Islander accents and stuff. But bro, we like hitting waves. Like one time, West like flew out of his seat and like came down. We're like hold on for our lives. The waves are big. We're like jumping. It was crazy. But then we made it to Roatan and it was beautiful and it was fun. It was great. And then also done the Dominican Republic and Jamaica. Both of those were great. Those were all inclusive resorts though, so you can only say so much. And then probably my favorite place that I've ever been is Iceland. And if you've never been to Iceland and you want to travel somewhere, Iceland sets it up so well to travel. You can get like a camper van, do a week, do 2 weeks. The lamb is incredible. So good. It is amazing. I love lamb. The food is fantastic. Like it doesn't matter where you go. You can get gas station food and you're still like, this is the best damn food I've ever had. Right. But Iceland waterfalls are everywhere. The hikes are great. It's literally just pull off the road and go on a 20-minute hike, see this beautiful waterfall, and then go right back to your camper van and then drop one of the campsites in Iceland. Literally, I backed my van up onto a hill, opened my doors, and it was the ocean. Like literally, like I could like drop something out of the back of my van and it would have hit the ocean and the rocks under it with the waves and stuff. It was crazy. Like if I would have backed up too far, my van would have into the ocean.
Yeah, don't do that. But we got a comment from Adam Marshman says, "What it do, fellas?"
Marshman, what up, boy? Hope you're doing well, Marshman. I miss your beautiful voice and playing video games.
Oh, here we go. Tell the shower story from Iceland.
Oh my gosh.
Is there another shower story? Like, why do you have all these shower stories?
Joe, you haven't heard the Polish man shower story in Iceland?
I don't think so.
Okay, let me tell you. My God, thanks, Marshman, for this. I'd love for it to be on this and forever on this podcast now. Bree, what up, Bree? I miss you more, Bree. So, anyways, I'm in Iceland, and in Iceland, like I said, camper van. You stay at campsites. The campsites have like showers and laundry and kitchens and all that, but they're all community, right? Um, all of them are separate. Well, most of I can't say all. Most of them are separated, men, ladies, and you just go in. There's multiple showers. They're not big on privacy, right? You just go in. It's all out there for the world. So I'm at this campsite. I walk in, and there's this Polish man showering, and I'm like, oh, it's fine. I'm going to use this other one. So I start like taking everything off. I'm gonna go in. I notice he finishes. So I'm like, this is cool. I'm gonna have this all these showers to myself. It's fine. This Polish man decides that he's gonna just sit on this bench the whole time I'm showering and have a full-blown conversation with me. Now, if you know me, I will talk to anybody. It doesn't matter. So I'm in there like ball sack and all like Clinton. He's just eye contact, talking, conversation, right? Like we are family. He has seen things that Steph has not seen, you know, and like no shame. Like it's just a different culture, right? To him, it didn't mean anything. He wanted to practice his English, and I was speaking English, so we were just chatting and talking and all that. But bro, the whole fucking shower, every part of it, he was there just chatting, hanging out. You know, like, and I'm just naked as can be, and he's just chilling, you know, and I'm talking undercarriage, backside. He's seen it all. It is what it is. Then I get out, I go to drive, and he's just chatting. He's like, hey, you know, I appreciate you talking with me. Well, bro, you didn't give me much choice. I'm in the shower. What do you expect me to go somewhere? You just like, I'll be back. Just let me know when you leave. Like, I'm already naked. I'm already in the shower when we started this adventure. So that's the Polish man shower story. Thanks, Marshman.
That's pretty great though. you can you can make a friend anywhere, Nate, even in the shower. It,
Gosh.
it reminds me of like a few times like in Planet Fitness where like just the older people, they just don't care. They just hang out with nothing on, just on the bench, like talking to their friends, and it's a little
Bro, I
awkward,
think
and then it's like what?
so for them, right, for like a lot of foreigners, like the way they view the naked body and sexuality is not the same as like the way the Americans view it and stuff like that. You throw on top of that, it wasn't elderly dude, you know, he's probably 50, 60 years old, something like that. His cares have probably gone out the door. Right. If you're willing to just sit in a shower and talk with somebody, he's probably seen a lot of D in his day. Right. Like he probably just don't even think nothing of it. So it was just an opportunity for him to practice his English. And
Yep.
I can't just not talk. Right. So like I was like, well, fuck it. If you're gonna sit here and talk to me, I guess I'm gonna talk back. And we had full blown conversation, you know.
Oh, that's pretty great. Well, other than that, what was your favorite experience in Iceland?
Oh man. So my favorite experience in Iceland, oh, that's tough. There's so many good ones. So many good ones. Um, there was this hike. I don't know what it was. I'll have to ask Steph, but it was one of the harder hikes we did, and we ended up on top of a mountain, and it was tough. It took a couple hours. We got up there. It was cold. It was foggy. It was rainy. There was one point in time where I walked across a section that was literally like it was like maybe a foot wide, you know, maybe a foot and a half. And if I misstep or if I tripped or something, like I would have fell off the side of a mountain. It was wild. But up there, like the sights were absolutely beautiful. You could see like three waterfalls off in the distance coming out, like coming off the side of other mountains and stuff like that. There's a video of it on my Instagram and things like that. I think that is one of the one hike that stands out to me just because like I've never seen anything like that.
Adam says, Marshman says, probably meeting his long lost brothers to complete the triplets.
So context, I learned the whole like pano trick right before I went to Iceland because I was looking up like video and like picture tricks because I enjoy taking pictures and stuff like that. So I did it and I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool. So I sent it to my buddies and now it's a constant thing. So when I did the shadow clone jutsu, because, you know, I hiked up the mountain and I sent it to you and Keaton and thought it was awesome. I caught flack from these guys because now they make fun of me having triplets and stuff like that. So a double-edged sword, but I still love it. I do it all the time, and I still send it out and share it because it makes me laugh.
Maybe if they watch Naruto, they'll understand. They'll get it.
Well, that was pre Naruto. That was
Yeah.
just, I figured it out. Now the clone jutsu, that was Naruto, but the other, triplets was definitely before.
Well, okay. You just did that to yourself, man.
Yeah, but it's fine. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. I was like, I didn't know you could do that. And you gotta like pano and get to a certain point, and then you gotta run around and pano a little more, and then run around and pano. It takes a lot of effort. A lot goes into
I
that.
I could just imagine like someone watching you do this. You're like, all right, oh, you run around to the next
Oh,
spot.
it's funny. Yeah, when there's people around, they look at you like you're an idiot.
Oh, Markman says '90s boy band. Okay.
That's what you think. That's like all my different poses, all my peoples. That's what you think. Little baby,
Oh,
bye bye bye.
oh man. I have we still have like it's like the Christmas ornament that you the Christmas tree ornament that you sent from Iceland, where it came like with the little story, and it's like in the other like what is the language that Iceland uses?
Icelandic language, the
Yeah,
Nordic language.
yeah.
First off, if you didn't get one, it got lost in the mail. Just so everybody knows. Thanks, Joe.
I didn't know it was a secret or something. Like, uh, Stephanie says you've got to yell fast as you run around.
We can never do this again, Joe. So that is something I do. I don't know why I do it. It just started, but now it's like a constant thing. I just yell fast as I'm running because I'm slow as a mother. Like a turtle could go faster than I go, right? Like full speed me is slower than like a like small child walking. So I just yell it. I don't yell it. I'm just like fast, 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 fast. Thanks, Steph.
It's kind of like all in anime where you have to like announce what you're doing to make it work. I get it. I get it.
Essentially, yeah.
And Marshman said mine was very. Oh, that sucks. Well, yeah, I mean it was kind of thin. It could be broken to know. Well, we have went over the time, and I know what is it like 9 o'clock your time right now, and you've walked
Yeah.
over 10 miles today, and you still got some shenanigans to get into. So probably need to wrap it up and let you get back to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can go a little bit longer if you got some more questions. I love sharing the stories. Like it's really cool. Like if anybody gets out and travels or is like, where should I go? Traveling inside the States. I know most of our viewers are inside the States. That's fine. That's great. A lot of places are really cool to go. Steph and I travel within the States all the time, but I also highly recommend getting your passport, going to different places and things like that. It's so much fun. It's so cool to do. It's not hard to do. That was one thing. Like I talked to my mom, and she was like, "Well, how do you do it?" Like getting a passport is really easy. It's not difficult. It does cost like $100. It does take a lot of time from the government. So like you submit everything, it maybe takes like 10 minutes, but then it takes the government like 12 weeks to get back to you because they're inefficient at everything. Um, but then you get your passport, and then you can go wherever you want. So if you ever have any questions about travel or anything, you should go. See you, Marshman. Take care, buddy.
Thanks. Marcia says, thank y'all for making my break entertaining. Catch y'all later.
Yeah. So, Joe, got any other
Well,
questions? I'm happy to share,
yeah.
man.
So, I mean, the typical question that we ask, usually on closing, right, is for someone who's never traveled before, maybe never even traveled internationally before, like, what tips would you recommend? Like, what would be something that you do to kind of get into it?
Yeah. So, well, let's talk domestically first. If you're going to travel domestically first, the first thing to do is just simple. Pick a destination. I don't care if you throw a dart to the map. I don't care if you like ask Google to randomize it for you. Just pick a destination and go. You can drive, you can fly. If you've never flown, it's not difficult. The TSA security things and packing can be a bit confusing, but it's not too difficult to navigate. And then flying itself, if you're tall, kind of sucks, but that's a different story. But anyways, if you're going international, and well, also probably my favorite place to travel in the States. That's tough. We'll come back to that. But if you're going international and you're a newbie and you're like, where can I go? I would, if you're a crazy person, go somewhere that you're the most excited about, where you've always wanted to go, something that inspires you and stuff like that. If you're not a crazy person and you want to be safe where you go, it's your first time, you're kind of scared, go somewhere where they speak your language. You have no idea how much of a barrier it is or how difficult it is when you go in and things like you go into a restaurant, nothing is translated into English, right? you don't know what agnia is or what some other French words that I don't know are, or like we're about to hop off a train and we're trying to read the board and the names and like we don't understand any of this, but we only have 5 minutes to catch our transitioning train and we're like, oh shit, and stuff like that. So go somewhere that speaks the language. My personal favorite is Iceland. Again, they make it really easy. It's not overly expensive. You can go as cheap or as fancy as you want to go. You fly straight into Reykjavik, which is one of their biggest towns. Renting a camper van is cheap. They make all of their hikes and stuff really accessible, really easy to get to. It is so set up and well ran for tourism, and things like that. Like you can't beat Iceland. I would say go to Iceland.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any more questions right now. I'm sure as you continue to travel, we'll have to do another episode down the line as you're further in, maybe midway, and then at the end of your travels, just to kind of to catch up and see what other shenanigans and stuff we've gotten into. But yeah, I'll let you get back to Steph and get back to all the shenanigans over in Europe, man.
Yeah, and I will say one thing. So a setup like this between me and Joe, it won't always be about my travels, but this is something that we are going to start doing more of. We have had some people, well, I've had some people reach out to me, and I'm sure Joe has as well, where they've said like they just don't know about us. They would like to hear from us. I've actually had a couple of people reach out and say their favorite episode was the one of me and Joe and stuff like that. So we're going to start implementing this probably into a monthly rotation or something. So y'all can ask us questions, get to know us better, what's going on in our lives, what we're doing, and all those things. So expect to see not more of just the travel stuff, but more of me and Joe nerding about anime and comics and D&D and anything that we see fitting or that we want to talk about, and maybe travel and how Polish people like to watch a shower. Who knows?
All right, guys. See y'all later.
See ya.